closer look at my Kayak V-Sail and the mounting of it and how it was built. So basically what we have here is a couple of oddly shaped brackets that right angle up, curve down, and they bolt through into my gator hatch. Between that, what sits between these PVC tees is a piece of threaded rod which I've coated in hosing, as you can see, and bolted it through so it doesn't go anywhere. Now, you tie the centre of your V-Sail. My V-Sail was made out of an offcut of a tent fly, and the tent was actually ruined, so what better use for the fly? Instead of throwing it out, I decided to use it for this. Now this here is a bungee cord, and that runs down around my bow and out like that, and what that does is that pulls up the sail for you. Now, to stop the sail from flinging too far forward, you have these sheet lines, so to speak. Anyway, to put it up, as you're out in the ocean, I'll have to guide this up just due to the lack of room in here. I'll just pull that off, and that's it there. So what I've got in these shafts here is 25mm PVC pipe, and they have a couple of end caps up through here. Now down inside that 25mm I've actually reinforced it for an extra bit of sturdiness with 20mm, and that just connects down to those tees. Now none of this has been glued, it all just holds in with these lines, and as you can see how these lines actually pull the sail up, and what happens is this line stops it from going any further than vertical basically. But should you need to trim your sail, you can pull on any of the lines and the sail can be trimmed accordingly. So to obviously account for the wind and where you need to be and where your sail needs to be, so you can travel crosswind. The only thing I haven't managed to do at the moment is travel directly upwind, which is obviously almost impossible task. Anyway, so that's to make this probably only took, the sewing was probably the longest part of the lot of it. Hose clamps and that are only a couple of dollars each from the hardware store. The couple of meters of bungee cord I got was literally $7 from the hardware store for the whole lot of it. The rope I had laying around, the conduit, it's actually relatively cheap at the hardware store, but I got that actually through my line of work, including the tees. And other than that, everything else you see there, I've done everything myself. So to make these is, as I said, it's relatively easy. You just got to basically make your template and sew some good hems in. If you don't sew the hems any good, basically the first time you use it, it's going to tear, rip and carry on. If you sew a decent hem, that way you're able to stitch it back onto it and go from there. Once you've got your template and that done and it's all sewn, you should be able to slide it on. Cut a couple of slops for where your hose and that's going to go through. These ropes will be upgraded soon. This is only just obviously first time attempt, and I've just left it at that and moved on to other projects, but I need to tidy that up and use a bit of a different rope. Now with the sheet lines, you want a continuous piece that basically runs from your first mast down around your cockpit. If you don't have a center hatch lock or anything like that, you can actually put like a half saddle there, and bring it up to there, and it'll do the same thing. Now you don't want your sheet lines too far away from you when you're sitting down, that way you can maneuver them and also pull your sail down, because the way you pull your sail down is by just grabbing your rope and bolting back down, and that's pretty much it. You just wrap the sail up and clip it back down, so, and that's how the V-Sail works.